From the Penn Libraries.
Last semester, I took a class with Dr. Guthrie Ramsey and Salamisha Tillett. They taught a joined class, and it was called Jazz as a Woman. It's probably one of the best classes that I've taken at Penn. And the way that we use technology is, well, the basis of the course is that a lot of the women's dialogues and women's stories throughout the history of jazz have been overshadowed by many of the men in the genre. So what we did was we traced how women were influencing both the music and just the story of jazz. So one of the ways that we use technology is that we were able to take music that was being played now and many of the artists that are here now and see how they compare and contrast to women in those days. So for example, let's say Lady Gaga. She's obviously very, very popular. And we just compared her to different motifs in the jazz women. But we were able to take her music and bring it to our professors and say, can you explain how she compares to Billie Holiday or Ella Fitzgerald? And that was probably one of the best ways that I learned, just because you hear music all the time and you don't realize that it has a connection to the music before it, regardless of whether or not it's in the specific genre. So I think that YouTube was something that we used almost on a lecture basis, like every lecture.
I took a class called Privacy in the Networked World, which was a writing seminar with Chris Mustaza, who's actually big in the IT department, so he really had a great handle on technology. And two of the really, really great uses of technology in his classroom were, one, a very controversial technology, I think, among students and perhaps faculty as well, Blackboard. No, but he really owned it and was able to create the Blackboard blog in such a way that we would constantly be posting items that were relevant to class, and he would bring them up in class and engage with us during class time, which I think was really key using that medium, because when we posted, it wasn't just, we had to post daily, and it wasn't just posting, random things that would never get talked about. We were really posting relevant information that he brought into class. And in the classroom setting, he was very facilitatory towards using laptops. And really, his biggest, I think, advantage using laptops was when he would just say, all right, so we're discussing maybe, this privacy constitutional amendment, and we're going to get in groups and do a little group collaboration. And he would say, whip out your laptops, and we're going to kind of, go to different websites, and you get to really explore with free reign. He would give a general idea and kind of give us the free leash, use the internet, which seems like such a basic technology, but really isn't used so much in classes, sort of with the students having the liberal chance to use the internet and really explore and engage with the topic, not just on the direction that the professor gives, but really allowing an open engagement among a group. So I thought that was a really cool use of a really basic technology.
First few weeks, we ran the class like a very traditional lecture, but this is a small class. It's 7 people. And midway through, our teacher sort of gave us the option of redesigning the course, changing the pedagogical method, and just experimenting with certain things. And immediately after that, we stopped lecturing. We started watching a lot of things online and sort of doing the flipped classroom model. And we also brought in Piazza to start sort of having conversations about the course outside of class and to really sort of continue the conversation. And since doing this, we've been doing this for about 4 weeks now, and everyone's really committed and engaged, and it's a great course.
I'm in 2 classes right now. One where kind of I feel technology is being used for the sake of using technology, where I feel like there is a course blog and we're all supposed to go and post on the course blog just so that we can say that we have a course blog. And there's, students are engaging with technology outside of the classroom, they're posting stuff, but I find it's being used in a really not meaningful way, in a way that it's like, yeah, I gotta go post on the course blog. And I think there's sometimes this sense that like, oh, students, they just love technology. Like, and anything you throw at them that's technology related, like they'll eat that up. And I think that's definitely not true. I think it's really about the intent. And so take like something very similar. So I have another class where I actually started a Facebook group for the class. It's a 10-person seminar. And the professor's in the group also, and he totally endorsed it. And it's really similar, right? Like it's a Facebook group is essentially the same as a basic WordPress blog in terms of the way it kind of looks and feels. But there's some really small nuances in the experience and the associations that we have with that medium, Facebook, as opposed to something else, where it's worked into our flow and it's kind of very natural to us, and it feels like, oh yeah, I go on Facebook, I check stuff, and like, oh, someone posted an article for my class, that's great, and it feels really natural. And so technology being used there in a way that really feels natural to me, and it feels really relevant, and doesn't feel like it's being used just for the sake of doing it. It's because we want to do it. There's no pressure to do it. There's no pressure to go and check it. It's really just, it's a natural part of what we're doing.
I think that the most profound use of technology that I've experienced so far at Penn has been in Dr. Skanga's class, Anatomy and Physiology. No, she did not pay me to say any of this. I'm just telling you. In the classroom, because it was a lecture format, which means that we were not allowed to ask questions. However, Dr. Skanga had beautiful slides and PowerPoints that we went through, and then we also, had YouTube videos to sort of pick up where we were looking, like if we're talking about the G-couple receptor, like what does that mean? How does it look? And we look at a YouTube video, and it was awesome. But now that I am in the accelerated program full-time in the School of Nursing, we have the sim labs, which are amazing. They are fantastic.
So this was something.
No explanation, but just
okay. Yeah, it's called Selfcontrol. Something a teacher gave me for class to make sure that you can't access Facebook. And I use it for all my classes. So.
I'm pro self-control. I use it for studying, but I would say Google Docs and Google Drive. Encouraging your students to use Google Drive is really important, just because they can collaborate on things without being in the same place.
Second, Google Docs and Google Drive, awesome, sweet.
Yep, same thing. Google.
Yeah, Google Docs.
Also, same thing every year. Use more Google Docs than Google Apps.